Well, good evening, amazing champions. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Linda Tyler. I tried to do it earlier. There were some technical difficulties because I was trying to do it on Facebook Live as well, but I ended up doing it on Facebook. But I just wanted to check in. I said I was going to do it on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I did it on Facebook and Instagram earlier. I'm not going to talk as long as I did. It was like 85 minutes on bringing out the champion in your child. And so tonight, I just want to talk about bringing out the champion in your child. My new book, it's an ebook. It will be going on sale on Monday, May the 3rd, through Amazon. So you'll be able to pre-order. It's going to be an ebook and it's going to bless your life. It's going to have so many tips. I have a bachelor's degree. I have a master's of science degree. I have a parenting degree. I have a parent. I'm a parent, so I have over 30 years experience, not just parenting, but I've been mentoring kids, mentoring, as my pastor would say, TOURING, taking children on a tour of their future, letting them know that something bright, amazing, and fantastic is going to happen. And so tonight, I just wanted to talk a little bit about children, and then I'm going to talk to you about divorce and co-parenting. And one thing that is so true, being a parent doesn't come with a manual. It doesn't really say, okay, you're going to navigate these waters and this is what to be prepared for. It can give you a little bit of anticipation and insight, but really until you get into it. And one of the things that I do when I'm mentoring children, I can bring out the best in any child. 95% of them, and I'll be talking about education and special ed and all of that. 95% of the time, a child doesn't need to be in special ed. It's a way out for the teachers. They get paid for that, or I should say the school system gets paid for that. And so, but I'll be talking about that in another episode. But what I want to talk about right now is parenting and co-parenting. First of all, you need to speak life into your kids. I'll talk about that as well. I talked for 87 minutes today. I don't have time for all of that tonight, but I just wanted to leave you with some nuggets on parenting, co-parenting. And I know it's not easy. I'm not only a product of divorce. My daughter is a product of divorce. My parents were divorced, and then I divorced my ex-husband, and it wasn't easy. I know when you're divorced or you're separated or you're no longer with your significant other, that you kind of want to put the knife in and twist it, but you can't do that because all you're doing is hurting your child. You gotta love your child more than you don't like your spouse or your boyfriend or ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend. You just have to love them more. And if you don't, you are going to hurt the child. As adults, we can, make things happen and navigate through our feelings and emotions. And I know that if you're the physical custody parent, using your child as a pawn against the mother, that more fathers are getting custody of kids, and that's fine. But you don't want to use your child as a pawn in your mess, because you will destroy them. You're not raising children, you're raising adults, and you don't want to raise broken people or broken adults because you just wanted to get back at your ex. Well, I'll just tell you, I did precipitate the divorce, and I thought about it. I'm gonna, but you know what? You got to get a view of the consequences. And I began to think that if I do that, my daughter is going to grow up with daddy issues and mommy issues, because I was using my ex as a pawn against, using her as a pawn against my ex, but I never did that. We did all of her birthday parties. She's 30 now, about to get married, a very, very successful author, making like $30,000 a month, like gangster stuff. She's amazing. And, but she's amazing. And people say it all the time. How did you do it? Her dad, even though I had full physical custody, he got her every other weekend and maybe did a week in the summer. That influence was important in her life. I would tell her when she was younger, I'd say, Jesus loves you, mommy loves you, and daddy loves you. Even if he wasn't there. Because what I wanted her to know, that her identity, a child's identity, is wrapped up in their mommy and daddy when they're young, you know, pretty much all the way up to high school, you know, until they start to feel themselves and smell themselves, right? So when you are thinking about using your child as a pawn, get a view of the consequences. You raise a child. I know many children who have mommy and daddy issues. I had them. Yeah, because my mom did that to me. And that's the other reason why I chose to go opposite. I said, I'll never do that to my daughter. I did think about it though, because you want to piss off the other person. What better way than to use probably one of the most vulnerable and cherished gifts of the world, a child. You're gonna piss him off, and then you think you're gonna feel better, but the only person that's losing in the end is the child. And you have to choose, no matter what, you have to choose to say, you know what, I am not going to put you in a place where you're gonna be hurt. You say you love your child more than any, oh, I would do anything for my baby, but then you're going to put them in the middle of a mess between a mother and father because you want that child to, you want the other person to hurt. It's not worth it. Married or divorced, you got to get on the same page. You know, when it comes to, if you're the physical custody parent, keep the other parent aware of what's going on. Basketball games and dance recitals and soccer games. My ex and I told him everything that was happening. You may say, well, he can go look on the website. No, you love your child more than that. You want as much love around her as possible. You can't do it all yourself. Of course, you want to say, oh, I did, woe is me. People would say to me, Happy Father's Day. I was like, no, she got a daddy. And his influence was so important to her, and his love, knowing that she was loved by her daddy, even though she only saw him every other weekend, pretty much. He didn't even do the one day a week because he had to work, and that was okay. But the influence that he had on her, she's had 2 boyfriends, 30 years old, high school, and the man she's about to marry. It does make a difference, the kind of relationship that you cultivate after you're divorced or after you break up. And don't get me wrong, I know there's deadbeat dads out there and stuff like that. But you know what? Even though that child may have said that or whatever, you need to tell that child that their father loves them. You need to put all that bull crap aside and say your dad may not be doing the right thing right now, but he loves you. Your mom is doing things that maybe it doesn't look like she loves you, but she loves you. So make it your business. Make it your business to make sure that child knows that they're loved by whatever parent is not around all the time. Make sure that that parent knows that they're loved. If you do that, you will cultivate something special in your child that it will stay with them all the days of their life. They'll remember that you did that. Let's see. Keep your children out of your mess. If you're the absentee parent, apologize to your children. Listen, it's never too late. I remember one day my daughter, she came home from college. She went to James Madison University, and she came home from college, and we were at dinner, and she began to tell me, she was like, Mommy, you were tough on me, da, 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 da. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, sometimes you don't understand the impact of your actions in that moment. And so I just so apologized to her and let her know that you're loved more than words can say, that you are an amazing gift to the world. And, you know I was tough in the area of education. And, I know I was very protective and barely let you spend the night at anyone's house, but I did that because I love you. And because of some issues that I had as a child, I always wanted to protect her purity, her pureness, that it was never compromised in any way. And so I always wanted her to know that. So when I told her that, she's like, oh, I understand. She didn't know that, but I was very, very protective because I wanted to make sure that I gave her the best start in life possible. Don't you want to do that? And if you're fighting and bickering, look, y'all are divorced. Y'all broke up. Y'all are not together. And even if you are together, you still should not be bickering in front of your children. But if you're broke up, you figured out that you couldn't make it together, but you brought this baby into the world, and you owe it to yourselves and you owe it to that child to give them your heart, your love, and let them know that, you know what, they're part of the father and the mother. So if you're saying bad things about them, they're going to internalize that and say, gosh, if my mom hates my dad like that, what does that mean for me? I guess she doesn't love me. And so it's so important that you understand that children are playing the programs they get from other people. And so you got to realize, what programs are you programming into your child? What is it that you're doing that you're helping your child to see the best of themselves or see the bad in themselves because you're fighting and bickering with your ex, or you're taking it out on them because they look like the father, or they look like the mother, and you're just being mean because it keeps reminding you of them. You have to choose to love, or you have to choose to destroy. And a child will absolutely be destroyed by the choices that you make. And I just encourage you, don't do that. Sorry about that. You know, phones ring, especially when you're doing a Zoom. And so, you know, that those things happen. You know, you got to realize that, keep each other informed, stay in the game, be team, whatever the child is. My daughter was Brittany, team Brittany. Yes. Her grandparents came to everything on both sides. Her godparents came to everything on both sides. Her aunts and uncles. I wanted so much love around her that even though she was a product of divorce, that she felt loved beyond words. Aunts, uncles, my brother, a significant influence in her life. And so you got to realize that if you want to bring out the champion in your child, it all starts with you. It all starts with the parents. It doesn't start with the teacher. It starts with you. The two most significant relationships, and whether you're adoptive parents, foster parents, it doesn't matter. Those relationships must be cultivated. You need to bring yourself to a place where you say, you know what? I love my child more than I disdain him or her. I love my child more than I want to get back at the other person because they ticked me off. They did something. You're not together. It's over. So now you got to come and look at this new relationship with you and your child and the other parent. You've got to come and say, look, okay, we're going to be friends because we're going to co-parent this child and catapult them to the highest heights of success. And it's going to take both of us to do it. I have a client right now, 2 girls, and they are amazing, right? And so I was speaking with the father today, and I said, hey, this is what I need. And he's always giving whatever you need, Linda. Those are my daughters. You know, the parents are divorced. And I said, you, me, and your ex, we're all in this together. Because when I mentor a child, what I do is that I take on, I'm in it for the long haul to make sure that they succeed. When I'm mentoring and taking them on a tour of their future, I'm not just teaching them math and English. I make sure all that is done. But we're raising adult girls. We are raising them to be amazing women and to believe the best about themselves. One of the little girls always says to me, live your dreams, Miss Linda. I'm like, yes, you know, because that's what I teach them, that you were born for such a time as this to be something amazing and awesome and incredible. And guess what? Your children get that from you. One of the prescriptions that I give to the parents is, tell your children you love them every day. Set an alarm. If you're the absent parent, call them at least 3 times a week. It really should be every day, just to say I love you. They don't want to be on the phone with you, but just to say I love you. So you can co-parent this thing. You can do this thing. You can get over divorce. I know it's painful, but if you focus on the child and bringing out the best in them, they're going to thank you. They're going to love you. And then you're going to see the fruit of you deciding to put your pain aside so you can cultivate the passion, purpose, and perseverance of your son or daughter. All right, I love you. Hey, my book is coming out. It's called Bringing Out the Champion in Your Child, The Ultimate Guide to Bringing Out the Champion in Your Child. It'll be on Amazon May 3rd. You don't want to miss this. It's going to have so many tips in it, so many things. I'll come back. I'll do something else about children bringing out the best in them. The words you speak chart the course for their life. How do you do that? What things can you do? Tips and tools, you know, again, make sure you keep the other parent informed. If you got to go to parent teacher conferences, go and present a united front that you all are in this together. We may be divorced, but we are here. My ex, he went to most of the parent teacher conferences. He also, like, if I had a challenge, I didn't have many, I had like 2 throughout her 12 years in school and dealing with teachers. And I'm like, John, we need to go. And he would go. So you got to be in it to win it together. Champion your child. And if you do that, I promise you, they will win all the days of your life. You will have no struggles with them. And if you do, they're going to be very minimal, but present a united front. If you're the absent parent, the child comes to your house, they did something crazy, call the mother, call the father, and say, hey, this is what's going on, so that now the other parent can begin to talk to them about what happened. And you are always on the same page, bringing out the best in your child, disciplining and caring and loving. But it's because you all are connected and you stay connected. Me and my ex, we don't talk as much now because our daughter is 30, but when she was young, we talked very frequently. I always wanted him to know dentist appointments, doctor appointments, you know, and a lot of those things he wanted to come to. They may not want to come, but at least you're doing your part to say, oh yeah, I told your dad about your soccer game. Just be in it to win it for your child. I just want to see your child win. I want to see you win. I want to see you happy, and that you don't have a child living with you at 40 because they got mommy and daddy issues. Give up the pain for the progress of your children. And if you do that, life will be amazing. Life will be beautiful, amazing, epic, and extraordinary, not only for them, but for you, because you made adults without mommy issues, without daddy issues. And I mean, they may have a couple issues. My daughter had issues with me, but you know what? I apologize, and we never talked about it again because I love her. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be rich in relationships? Do you want to be right, or do you want to get back at the other parent, or do you want to see your child grow up and spread their wings and fly like the amazing child that they are? You can do this, all right? I love you. Have an amazing day. The best is yet to come for your lives, and I will be more about bringing out the in your child. Have an incredible day. The best is yet to come. Bye-bye.